Hello everybody and welcome once again to Revision Hour for senior high schools economic students in West Africa and for that matter Ghana. Before I start today's lesson, let me please introduce myself and my books to you. My name is Akrofi Benjamin, an economics teacher in a Brigel Senior High School and the author of the Key to A1 Game Changer Economics Tests and Question and Answer Book for senior high schools in West Africa. Lately, the new accolade we've given to the book, in addition to its name, is Game Changer, just to distinguish it from all the other books on the market. And so if you go to the bookshops, you want to buy the Key to A1 Game Changer Economics books, and there seems to be some sort of mix-up, let them know that you are looking for the Key to A1 Game Changer. Today on Revision Hour, we want to look at the concept of production possibility curve and how to use production possibility curve to calculate opportunity costs, or how to calculate opportunity costs from the production possibility curve. So in our next slide, we want to remind ourselves of production possibility curve. Now, the production possibility curve is a curve showing the maximum attainable combination of goods that can be produced by an economy or a country in a period of time when all given resources are fully employed with a given technology. Now, in the table below are some combinations of two goods, that is X and Y. I'll take you through the table. So this is a table which shows the production possibility curve of a country. And the combinations are A, B, and C. So, and the commodities that are being produced by the country or the economy are commodity X and commodity Y. So for combination A, we'll say that the country is using all the available resources and technology to produce 0 units of commodity X and 40 units of Y. For combination B, the country is using all the available resources and technology to produce 30 units of X and 20 units of Y. And for commodity C, the country is using all the available resources and technology to produce 50 units of commodity X and nothing of commodity Y. Now, in the next slide, you will see that we have used this table to draw the production possibility curve. So we'll go through it and see how we plot this one nicely. Now we see that in the table for combination A, we have 40 units of commodity Y being produced and nothing of commodity X being produced. And therefore, for that coordinate, we'll get the point on the vertical axis like this. And that is point A. And then that is combination A. And for combination B, from the table, we see that the country or the economy is using all the available resources to produce 30 units of X and 20 units of Y. So when we get to the diagram, we'll see that 20 units of commodity Y and 30 units of commodity X. So we get the point here like that. And then for C, we see that 50 units of X, so we'll go to the table, 50 units of X are being produced and nothing of Y is produced. So we get a point on the horizontal line, that is the commodity X axis. So the point will be here like that. And it is this point that when we join, we're using our free hand. When we join like this, we get the production possibility curve. Now, in the next slide, we'll see that we can use the production possibility curve to explain or to learn about the following terminologies. We have attainable output combination, we have unattainable output combination, we have inefficient output combination, underutilization of resources or operating under capacity, we have obsolete or outmoded technology, and we have bodily shift of the production possibility curve, PPC. So when you go back to the diagram, we see that we can use the diagram to explain some of these terminologies. You'll be asked in exam, so you pay attention to it. So the first one we want to look at is attainable output combination. So we say that all the points, all the combinations that are lying on the production possibility curve, so that is combination A, B, and C, they are attainable. They are the combinations that the country can use its available resources and the given technology to produce them. Then we have unattainable output combinations. Unattainable output combination. So the unattainable output combinations are the combinations that the available resources and the given technology cannot produce. And those unattainable output combinations lie beyond or above the production possibility curve. And therefore, from this diagram, point D here is the unattainable output combination. Then we have the third one being inefficient output combination. Now, when you say inefficient output combination, any combination that lies within the production possibility curve is inefficient output combination. And what it means, what does it mean for us to say that a combination is inefficient output combination? It means that when we are producing within the production possibility curve, that output combination makes some resources not fully utilized, or the economy is producing under capacity, or you say that some resources are lying idle. And that inefficient output combination in this diagram is combination E, or point E. It means that resources are not being fully utilized, or the economy is operating under capacity. Now let's go back to the unattainable output combination. What may be some of the causes of unattainable output combination? What may be some of the causes of unattainable output combination? It could be that your technology is obsolete, or you don't even have the necessary technology. Your technology is outmoded, and therefore you cannot attain that, or simply you lack resources, and therefore you cannot attain that, combination. And so we say it is unattainable output combination. So for you to be able to attain the unattainable output combination, you must improve upon your resources, or you must discover more resources, or look for more resources in the form of money, time, in any other form of resources. And then you must also improve upon your technology. When you are able to do this, then the production possibility curve will shift bodily to the right. Bodily to the right. So then you see that the production possibility curve will come and pass through point D here. So then point D will be lying on the new production possibility curve. When it happens, we see that the production possibility curve has shifted bodily to the right, which means you have improved upon your technology. Perhaps you have looked for more resources. That is why the production possibility curve is shifting bodily to the right. And therefore D, which was unattainable combination hitherto, will now be attainable combination. So you see that we have used the production possibility curve to explain all these terminologies: attainable output combination, unattainable output combination, inefficient output combination, underutilization of resources or operating under capacity, obsolete or outmoded technology, and the bodily shift of the production possibility curve. In our next slide, we'll use the production possibility curve, making use of our previous table, to do the calculation of the opportunity cost. The question that could be asked here is that if the economy moves, a movement from point combination A to B, calculate the opportunity cost when there's a movement from point A to B. Now, you agree with me that when you move from A to B, you are gaining 30 units of commodity X. You are gaining 30 units of commodity X, but you are sacrificing 20 units of commodity Y. And therefore, the opportunity cost of moving from A to B, which is the opportunity cost of producing 30 units of commodity X, will be 20 units of commodity Y. That is 40 minus 20, which gives us 20 units of commodity Y, which is sacrificed, which is forgone, or which is sacrificed in order to produce 30 units of commodity X. Similarly, if you are asked a movement, what is the opportunity cost when you move from B to C? The movement from B to C will mean that you will have to sacrifice 20 units of, because 20 units of commodity Y, because you'll be producing 0 units of commodity Y, and then you would have gained 20 more units of commodity X. The direction can also be upward. So if, for example, if you're asked what is the opportunity cost of moving from combination B to A, in that case, then you see that it's a reverse. You are moving from B to A. What it means is that you are now sacrificing 30 units of commodity X in order to gain 20 more units of commodity Y. So that is it for the opportunity cost calculation. That is it for the opportunity cost calculations. Now let's look out for a more detailed example. And I'm sure after this example, everybody will be fine and clear in the mind how to use the concept of production possibility curve to calculate opportunity cost. So let's look at this example. The table below shows the production of cloth and ties in a hypothetical country. Study the table and answer the questions that follow. And you have the table, possible combination, bales of cloth, and the number of ties. Let's look at the questions that follow. Here. So we have A, use the information above to draw the production possibility curve. The use of graph sheet is essential. 10 marks. So let's look at the graph sheet. Let's look at our graph sheets. We have our graph here like that. So this is the graph. I'll just go through with you. And then you see that how to plot it. Here you have values, and so it's a graphical axis. You place bales of cloth on the vertical axis, and the highest number there is what? 300. So make sure you give a scale that will be able to accommodate the highest figure. Then you also do same on the horizontal axis, and you place tiles on the horizontal axis. Yes. So when you come to the graph, you see that here it is every 2 centimeters is towards 40 units. So from the origin, the next 2 centimeters is 40. Then the interval from there should also be 40, 80 in that order, 120 in that order. The highest number on tiles was 240. So you make sure you give a scale that will be able to accommodate it. I must say that the question wasn't explicit as to where to place each of the items, and therefore you can use your discretion. Somebody would have drawn such that the cloth would be on the horizontal axis and ties on the vertical axis to be correct, except the question states otherwise. Explicitly that puts cloth on the vertical axis and then tiles on the horizontal axis. Then you can't do otherwise. Please, you must note this. So from there, then we can plot our graph nicely. So you see that from the table for combination A, we have 300 and 0. So 300 for the cloth and 0 for the tie. So we have 300 here. And then the next point, you see that for cloth, we have 250 and then 80. Then you plot like that, 250 and 80. So combination B, 250 for cloth and then 80 for ties. So when you come there, then you plot it like that. So you follow suit and plot it nicely. You plot it nicely. You plot it nicely, the various combinations, and then you join with your free hand. You join this with your free hand like that. Your free hand like that. And that gives you the production possibility curve. So we move on to the next question. It says that indicate point V and W at which production is not attainable on your graph. So if it's not attainable, it means it's beyond the curve, V and W. So you see here is V and here is W. It could have been anywhere. Once it is beyond it, it could have been anywhere. So please take note of that. So you have indicated it nicely. You have indicated it nicely on your graph. And the next question says that the next question says that indicate point X and Y at which resources are not efficiently utilized on your graph. So if it's not efficiently utilized, it means they are inefficient output combination. And so inside the graph X and Y, use X and Y to indicate like that. So you move on to the next, and then you say that what will be the opportunity cost of moving from A to C? What will be the opportunity cost of moving from point A to C? So when you go to the table, you see that from point A to C, what are you sacrificing? You are sacrificing what? Bales of what? Of cloth from 300 to 200. So that will be 300 minus 200. That gives us what? 100 bales of what? Bales of cloth. You have to sacrifice that in order to gain 160 units. That's if you move from A to C, then you are gaining 160 ties, and that will be 160 minus 0, and that gives us what? 160. You are gaining 160 ties. So in order to gain 160 ties, you have to sacrifice what? 100 units of what? Of bales of cloth. Then the next question we want to look at is F to B. So you are now moving in the opposite direction from F to B. You are now moving upwards from F to B. F to B. So let's see F to B. What are you sacrificing here? You are increasing from 50 to 250 for bales of cloth, and then you are decreasing from 260 to what? To 80. So in order to gain 200 units, so 250 minus 50, that gives us what? 200. 200. In order to gain 200 units of bales of cloth, how many units of ties do you have to sacrifice? And that will be from 260 to 80. 260 to 80. So from 260 to 80, that will be 260 minus 80. And then you are sacrificing what? 180 units of ties. 180 ties in order to gain 250, in order to gain 200 bales of cloth. So that is it. And then from your graph, why should a country not produce at point X? That's the last question. Why should a country not produce at point X? That is this point X, this point here. Because producing combination X or at point X will mean that you are producing within the production possibility curve. And that represents inefficient output combination. That is to say, you are underutilizing resources. And therefore, it will not be prudent economically to produce at point X. The country should not produce at point X, because producing at point X will mean that the country is producing under capacity or is underutilizing some resources. I guess we'll end this lesson here and continue another time. Thank you very much.